When I ask you to think about Anna Wintour, the legendary former editor of Vogue, what comes to mind first? That sharp bob, right? Or Bob Marley, the locks, Elvis, the pompadour, Amy Winehouse, that towering beehive, Marilyn Monroe, the platinum blonde hair. Hair isn't just hair, it's a logo, a calling card, a visual shorthand for identity itself. Hi, I'm Fatima, and today I want to talk about hair as an iconic accessory, and more importantly, about your hair story. Hair has always held power. In biblical stories, Samson's strength literally resided in his uncut locks. When those 7 locks were cut, his power vanished. Medusa's crown of serpents turned men to stone. What was meant as punishment became protection, became power. The Celtic queen Boudica led armies against Rome with flame red hair falling to her hips, a fiery mane that announced her fury before she even spoke. Hair wasn't decoration, it was magic. Let's look at ancient Egypt, where both men and women shaved their heads in the desert heat, then covered their heads with elaborate wigs made from human hair or sheep's wool. These weren't just practical, they were status symbols, works of art. Cleopatra's braided styles, adorned with gold and jewels, weren't about vanity, they were about authority, about visually claiming power. Fast forward to 18th century Europe, where women's hair became architectural marvels, towering structures 3 feet high, dusted with powder, decorated with ribbons, feathers, even miniature ships. It may sound absurd, absolutely, but it was also a clear declaration. I have wealth, I have status, I matter. Across cultures and throughout history, hair has been sacred. Buddhist monks shave their heads as a symbol of letting go of worldly things, letting go of vanity, ego, worldly attachment. For Sikhs, uncut hair is one of the 5 articles of their faith. Their turban isn't just a covering, it's a sacred, visible declaration of values and spiritual commitment. Bob Marley's dreadlocks as a Rastafarian weren't a style choice, they were rooted in his Rastafarian beliefs, a spiritual expression that became a global symbol of resistance and identity. The word dreadlocks itself comes from the dread they were said to inspire in colonial observers. Rastafarians reclaimed that word with pride. In Senegal, the Baye Fall Sufi order wear long dreadlocks as a visible sign of their unique spiritual path and their rejection of material vanity. Hair can be prayer. Cornrows are not a trend, they're an ancient African art form stretching back thousands and thousands of years. During transatlantic slavery, these braiding patterns took on new meaning, used as maps to escape routes, as a way to hide seeds, as a connection to stolen heritage. In the 1960s and 1970s, the afro became a political declaration. For generations, black people had been told their natural hair was wrong, pressured to straighten and alter it to meet European beauty standards. The afro said no more. Today, iconic hair still holds power. Anna Wintour's bob is as recognizable as a corporate logo. Elvis's pompadour was pure rebellion meeting pure showmanship. Amy Winehouse's beehive screamed rock and roll soul. Karl Lagerfeld's powdered ponytail became inseparable from his legacy. Some iconic hair is natural, like Macy Gray's gorgeous coils. Some is completely artificial, like Andy Warhol's silver wig. It wasn't real hair, but it encapsulated his entire artistic philosophy. Donald Trump's comb over, love it or loathe it, became a visual trademark. Sports promoter Don King's gravity defying crown announced him before he even spoke. It was iconic. And iconic hair can happen by accident or by design. But either way, it tells a story. It says, this is who I am. Remember me. Here's the thing, your hair has a story too. The bangs you cut yourself when you were a kid, the time you went platinum blonde and felt like a different person, the day you finally stopped fighting your natural texture, or the day you decided to drastically change your natural texture, the pixie cut that announced a new chapter, the curls that you allowed to grow back and stop straightening, the grey hairs you allowed to grow in and decided to embrace. Your hair has documented your life. It's been witness to every phase, every heartbreak, every love, every loss, every success, every joy, every reinvention, every moment you tried to fit in, and every moment you finally decided not to fit in. So I'd love to hear your hair story. What does your hair mean to you? How has it changed? What did those changes represent? When did you feel most like yourself in terms of your hair? And are there times when your hair has felt separate from you, almost like a costume? And which do you prefer? Hair is the most democratic form of self-expression we have. Rich or poor, powerful or powerless, or anywhere in between, hair grows from our heads. But what we do with it, how we style it, cut it, color it, leave it as is, alter it, that's where identity begins. Your hair is your story, and I'd love to hear it.